All right, guys. Most, if not all, of the parts for this car are here now, except for miscellaneous hardware we're gonna probably end up needing to get at some point throughout the build. The car is actually in the hangar today. I've got the engine sitting in it, another engine here. Most of this stuff goes to this engine. We'll talk about that in a minute, but right now we're just gonna go over all this new stuff we have here. So I'm gonna start off with a disclaimer. I don't know exactly what everything, I know what it is, but not like the cam. I don't actually know whose cam this is. I believe it's a Colt. That's the one downside of going through this guy who did the machining, and he's really good on getting good prices. That's why we went through him. But I don't know. I could probably go find the invoices and find out. But off the top of my head, I don't know exactly what is in this engine. So let's get into it. We'll start right over here. This guy is, I didn't actually realize Dana made seals and stuff, but this is a rear main seal for the engine made by Dana. Timing belt kit for the TDI, and the belt I believe the belt does not come with this kit. This is just the water pump and stuff. This is the box for the belt, but he has to flatten it to make it all fit in the box when he ships it. But the water pump, everything's in there. Never mind, not the water pump. This is just tensures and stuff. Right here we have a water pump by Graf water pump here. This isn't like an aftermarket water pump or, come on, open up, or anything. This is just the stock style water. Come on out. I can't find my tripod mat to save my life. Stock style water pump. It's probably exactly the same as the one that's in that engine now, because we have done a water pump before. We've done a timing belt before on it too. So most of these parts for timing are probably the same exact parts that are in that engine. Dayco timing belt, you already saw that. He sent a Continental serpentine belt. I have about 4 of those throughout the engines, and like 2 of them were brand new. I think one of the cars we got had one in the trunk. Right here, these guys, I believe, are the engine, the motor mount bolts. Volkswagen recommends replacing those every time you pull them out. I think they're stretch bolts, torque to yield, whatever you call them. Back here, main air filter for the cabin. So that's the thing with this guy. You order the timing belt kit or whatever, timing belt kit plus or something, and that guy, this whole back row, yeah, I think that's it, comes with that kit. So you've got the cabin air filter there, a main vehicle air filter. He sends you a jug of antifreeze coolant. This isn't the brand we run, but it's a Priority Volkswagen coolant. You need the right type, or you have to cut it completely flush and run the other stuff, I believe. Or that could be the Fords. I can't get it straight. This guy is the fuel filter. And I believe, let me open it up because I'm not sure. I think it's just the insert for the metal can. Oh no, it is the entire metal can. So yeah, this drops on the floor. This guy sits in the car, and there's a bracket, basically just a band kind of hose clamp that holds that. And I've dropped the box on the floor. This is the oil filter. Yep, main oil filter. That is a cartridge style filter, and it goes right here in these engines. There's probably one in there already. So that's that kit that he'll send you. And then the next things that came in my order with that was, of course, my head. So this is the stock head out of, which car did this come off of? I think this is off of that engine right there. I believe that's that head. It's going in this car. We have, I believe, don't quote me on this. I can go find what it actually is. I believe it's a Colt Stage 1 cam. Something I could have done, like I've said before, I could have done basically all this stuff. He sourced it pretty cheap. Good deal on it, I guess. He also replaced all the valve cups, I believe. I don't think he did the springs or anything. I think we kept our original springs. Also, we have a head gasket set. This engine, if you know about these engines, they're interference, and you have to measure your piston protrusion, and you have a 1-hole, a 2-hole, and a 3-hole head gasket. If you don't know, you can just go with, I believe it's the 3-hole, because that's the biggest clearance, and you won't have any problems. This engine is a two-hole. I believe the others are actual 3-hole for their measurements. And one of them had really weird numbers, so we're not going to use that engine. We're figuring someone replaced the connecting rods at some point, or something, pistons, something's different in that engine. We're not going to use it because we don't really know, and we know good history on this engine. These guys are the head bolts. There are, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them. Those are also torque to yield, or stretch bolts, or whatever you want to call them. So they need to be replaced every time. Also, he ported I don't know if he did all of them or just the exhaust or intakes. I think he polished all of them and ported the exhausts. As well as he shipped us back a glow plug and the, not studs, yes, studs. The exhaust or intake, I don't remember which are which. They're the same studs. I just don't remember which got stuck in his head that he extracted from it. He sent those back to us so we can use them. This is all sorts of seals. The brass nuts over here are for the, I don't know if they're just for the exhaust or for the exhaust and intake. The brass helps it not seize and stick as bad. Some seals, some other hardware. There's paper in there telling us what everything is. So that's basically it for top end stuff. Then over here, moving to this stuff, we have clutch components. This is, I believe, a Sachs single mass flywheel. Yeah, I believe it's a Sachs single mass, which actually the Ratmobile, the car out there that we robbed the engine out of, that, it's in its trunk right, I think it's in its trunk right now. Somewhere it had a clutch put in it, and it was a single mass. But it would need to be resurfaced, and we didn't realize that till after we ordered this, so we're just going to use this brand new one anyhow, and it needed a new friction disc. The friction disc in there is a Luck disc. This also, he sent it off with his clutch kit is, I think, basically everything that's here. Clutch, pressure plate, flywheel, throwout bearing here. That guy goes right there. This goes on the slave cylinder for the clutch. That's the part that does the pushing. In here, I'll pop it out. We've got the hard to work one-handed. Got the clutch fork, so that guy goes there in one side. That little thing I showed you rides in one of those two balls. I'm not sure which. If I looked at the transmission, I'd figure it out. And then the throwout bearing goes right in there in the center. So that's that guy. Bolts for the clutch, flywheel bolts, actually, not clutch bolts. He sends it with a alignment tool, so we might actually have one of these because we've done a clutch in this car before when we did this car had a whole new transmission at one point put in it. Because it was an automatic, the automatic failed like they tend to do. So then we got a brand new manual transmission, or remanufactured or something, after trying to put an automatic out of a bug, because this was my dad's commuter car to work, so it was an automatic, well, that's not why it was an automatic, but anyhow, we put that transmission in, found out it was also bad. We threw it away a couple of years ago. We held on to it for a long time. The controller board, I think, was what was actually bad. We could have sold it, but never did, and it sat outside forever. So this had a new clutch put in it. Its clutch is going to go in the mildew, the blue car, when we do the 5-speed swap in it, because it's a known good clutch. And this one is going in that car. As well as, I think this came with it. Yes, this does come with it. And I need to actually, let me check now, because there's a transmission in here. I believe this guy goes under the throwout bearing. I can't actually see from here. It goes under the throwout bearing is the transmission input seal. I believe, don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what that one is. And then the other miscellaneous parts we have here on the table that are new things Actually, we've had these for a long time. Front wheel bearings and tie rod ends. I did, up in the front, the new lift springs, new, you can see them down there, new lower control arms. But if you can, I think you can see how much that tire is moving. It's a really bad amount of wobble in that tire. So we have new wheel bearings for both sides. And then that's basically it for all the new parts for this car, besides miscellaneous hardware I'll end up needing to get. So now in this box, we have, this is the timing belt toolkit. That doesn't really matter. But in terms of parts for this car, I have the center, the center vents, because if I hop in this car real quick, it is the center vents, right? I think I have all of them, but yeah. No, it's not. Oh, it's this one. Okay, I guess I don't need to put the center vents in. It's this one that's broken. So I have one of these. I'll have to find it and get it in that box to put in this car. Center ones are fine. Never mind. And the other thing that's in that box is these controls down here. They work fine, but they don't light up anymore. And the lights, as far as I can tell, are built into this whole piece. So I've got this whole piece we're going to swap out into the car too. So that's basically it for all the brand new stuff we got for this car. Hopefully, there's a lot of work to do still, but now that everything's here, I can start working on it. Because I couldn't do, basically I was stuck. I had none of those parts. I couldn't really do anything for this car. So now, to what we have over here, this is the old head. Actually, let me show you. If I move these guys, pop off that cap, that's the old camshaft snapped in half. So drive and stuff, all this, everything except the engine and that turbo, everything on this pallet goes to this car. That, I don't know which turbo that is. Actually, yes, I do. That is the one off of the Ratmobile. That is a good turbo. This one is the one off of that engine. I want to use at least the EGR delete part of it, which probably means I'll use the whole thing so I don't worry about snapping off these bolts and stuff. So I'll probably end up putting that turbo in this car with the EGR delete. This is a homemade cat delete pipe, down pipe. That is going to go in this car mostly because I don't want to pull the down pipe out of the other car to put in this car. It's basically the same thing. Anyhow, this one is just homemade with some pipe clamps. In this box is more parts off of that car. It's intake with an EGR, it's turbo, belt tensioners, accessory brackets, valve cover, all sorts of parts. There's still parts, I don't know where they are. I have to go look for them. I have parts stashed everywhere, and this car has been apart for like probably close to 5 months actually. So really looking forward to getting this thing back on the road. But these turbos need to be cleaned up, and some of them are, or we're just assuming some of them are actually no, we tested some of their actuator parts. I can't remember if the vanes actuating those or not. They're stiff and sticky and crudded up. So this is engine cleaner. I put tape over it, meaning to write turbo cleaner. Or Evan degreaser is what it's called. I meant to write turbo cleaner on it, and I couldn't find a Sharpie, so I never did. But we got three cans of turbo cleaner up there to clean up these turbos, get them spinning good. So yeah, that's basically it. Just an update on this whole Volkswagen thing. I don't know if I'm probably not going to get any work done on the engine today. But all the parts are here. We can start working. Hopefully we'll have this engine built pretty quick. Basically, we need to flip it upside down, torque all the bottom end back because we took it apart. We'll have to clean it up because it got a bit of surface rust on it. Not bad. We'll just have to polish it. Drop the head on, timing stuff. Connect all the, put the, it in transmission, all the accessories. Where's the transmission for this car? Oh, this is, crap. This is its transmission. Yes, because this sensor broke off. I need to get that sensor. This is the transmission that goes in this car because they are actually different gear ratios in the transmissions, and we wanted to put that one back in this car. So, make the transmission up, all the clutch stuff, drop it in there, and then basically plug everything back in. The front end, I don't actually know where the core support is. There's one in the trunk of the Rat. There's two over there. And there might be one more somewhere. I need to figure out which one goes to this car because we knew it was good. And I think it needs a new fan. I think I have one already. So, oh, and there's a block heater somewhere. Somewhere I have a block heater for this car that came off of, I believe, the Rat. It's in that shed with the Rat's parts. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling now. Got a block heater to install in this car, and I want to get a marine style plug kind of thing, if you know what I'm talking about, a flush mount, and mount it, I'm thinking, either in the side of this bumper or kind of, I can't get to them very well, but kind of in one of the vent areas, not probably on the side without the EGR, the side with the fake vent, so that I can have the block heater plug in and not have, well, as you can see, a dangling cord that you can drive away while plugged into. That's the Rat's bumper. That thing's destroyed. So, yeah, that's basically it for today, guys. I also am chasing down new springs for the rear end because the rear of the Jetta is so heavy. The rear of the wagon is so heavy that the lift springs out of the sedan are, I can't tell if they're lower than stock or not, but it's not good. And the stock springs out of the back of the wagon in the sedan lift the back of that an extra, seemed like inch over what these lift springs, the 2.5-inch lift it had, were doing. So I need to find springs for that. I think we're gonna go with front springs out of a Jeep Wrangler. No, don't be dumb. Cherokee. There we go. Front springs out of a Cherokee, lift up the back of this thing. Either that or we're going to go with stock springs, and I'll put a picture in right here. I found on a TDI forum, some guy designed homemade lift spacers. They look pretty good to me. I don't like what he did with the front end for lift. He basically just screwed an extension onto the end of that and bolted it in. I didn't like that. I wouldn't do that. But I have lift springs in the front anyhow. But what I think he did with the back is good. So we're going to do that. As well as, sorry, I'm really getting long here. We got to pop this trunk lid off, take it to the glass place so they can pull the glass so I can get the rust fixed that's under the edges here, especially in that corner, because I cannot get to it with the glass in there. They will, I think for like 150 bucks, they'll pull and store the glass. So I can hopefully get this hatch to last a little longer. I know it's on its way out. There's rust down in there. I can't get to it, but on the inside. So, oh, brand new fenders too. Sorry. So I'm just going to shut up now. We're going to call this the end of the video. So thanks, guys, for watching. Hopefully we'll get some progress done on this car soon and have it running in the next month or so. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.